Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Um, just want to welcome you. Hopefully, you guys are coming on and having a great afternoon so far, a great day so far. But good afternoon. We are happy to be here and ready to discuss some real estate. I'm Frida McCullough, the team leader of the Mack team, and I am here this afternoon, and I've got some great friends and guests of mine that are going to be watching with us. So listen, if you're on, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share so that we know that your friends know that we're live. Go ahead and let them know, hey, there's some good information that's going to be discussed tonight. So if you have anybody that you know of, go ahead and hit your share button. And I'll give you just a few minutes to do that. But we're gonna start out here and just have a little discussion and see where it takes us. I've got a few people with me, like I said, that I'm going to bring on and I'm going to introduce to you guys. Again, I am Frida McCullough, the team leader for the Mack team, and we are the Mack team of Keller Williams Realty. Located on Russell Parkway. We are a full service team with myself as a team leader. I have full-time admin, Heather Howard. I have an inside sales coordinator, Carrie Lyons. And then we have three buyers agents, Makina Davis being the lead buyer agent, Verlin Bryant and Tiffany Alexander. And of course, we have our listing agent, Jan Hall. And so we make up the Mack team, and we are here to serve you. We are here to help try to make sure those transactions go smooth. But I know a lot has changed in the market, and there's a lot going on. And if you're like me, you're going to be asking a lot of questions. You want to know, what's happening. Of course, we want to know what's happening on our side because we're selling. But I thought about this because I felt like there would probably be people that would want to know what's really going on in the market and what's going on as far as how we are now in this COVID-19 circumstance that we're in and the climate that we're in right now. How is it affecting the market? And so I'm going to bring on a few people. And hey, Tiffany, I'm going to bring on a few people, and we're going to kind of just dialogue. Again, please share, tag your friends, let them know that we are on and we're talking about real estate. That's always a topic that people want to know about. We're talking about real estate. So first person I'm going to bring on, and I'm going to bring on here is, let's see. I'm going to bring on, the first person is Bridget Cooper. Bridget Cooper obtained her dual bachelor's of science. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her real quick before we bring her on. She obtained her bachelor's of science in arts and physics, wow, from Duke University, and her law degree from the University of Georgia in 1998. Ms. Cooper specialized in real estate transactions, and she also practiced in the area of financing, real estate corporate counseling, mergers and acquisitions, and commercial litigation for over 20 years. The Cooper Law Firm is one of the top 10 real estate firms in Georgia, according to Fidelity Family Partner Circle and Old Republic Presidents Group. And so I want you to welcome my guest. She does closings for us, and she's also done some personal things for me as well. But go ahead and welcome and bring her on, Miss Bridget Cooper. Come on in, Bridget.
Hey, thank you, Frida. Can you hear me?
Hey, I don't see you. Where are you?
Oh, wait, hold on. I'll get back up. Hold on a second.
Yeah, turn the camera around. There you go.
There
you are.
There I am. Okay. Hey, thanks for having me. We're so excited that we could be here and help everybody. This is like very scary times. And the problem is even though it's scary, everybody still has their real estate transactions that they need to get done. And they need to know how that's going to happen. So we're here to answer any questions about how that's going to, what the format is, what the procedures are, what everybody can do.
Yeah, because it is a scary time as far as just because of the unknown. But thank goodness we have professionals like yourself.
Thank you.
And you keep us informed when we have questions. I follow you on Facebook and I watch you put posts out there, and you help us to understand this craziness because we don't understand it. Like we're trying to figure it out ourselves. And so I'm glad that we have people like you that are there to help us understand what's going on. So I want to bring in another one of our guests. I don't know what, there's a little noise in the background, but we'll figure that out. I don't know if that's me. But I'm gonna bring on another one of my guests. It's Teralyn Nicely. And Teralyn is the producing branch manager for Altera Home Loans. She has been in the mortgage and finance industry for over 18 years. And Teralyn brings a wealth of knowledge with many mortgage products. And there she is. Hey, Teralyn, how you doing?
Hello.
100%
Good.
down
How are
payment
you?
assistance. Hey. She has 100% down payment assistance, FHA. She can take her borrower from application to closing virtually right now during this COVID-19. So that's awesome because she can do virtual, and you can do everything without having to come face to face. So welcome. How are you, Teralyn?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Good. You know Bridget, right?
Oh yeah.
Y'all know each other, so that's good. Oh, she is. I think she said
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay, good. And then I'm going to bring on Lee Brown. He works for Homestar Finance Corporation, and he and his wife Jamie have 2 daughters, Jenna and Abby. And there he is. Hey, Lee.
Hey there.
How you doing?
Man, doing great.
Good. So let me tell you a little about Lee. As he has 2 daughters, Jenna is 5 and Abby is 3, and a 6-month-old son named Trip. And after playing football for Georgia Tech, he was a pastor for a number of years. Awesome. Go for the pastors. And until he transitioned to the mortgage business, he loves helping people make progress in any area of their lives, but especially in buying their dream home. And so I brought this panel of people together. I want to welcome you all and thank you all ahead of time for helping all of us. And those who are watching, people are still signing on and getting on. So if you have people you know, you can go ahead and share it, let them know you're on here. But people are still jumping on. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to let people know what's going on. So let me ask you this. That's the first question people want to know. And this is really a lender question. I'm sure, Bridget, you've seen this as well. But a lot of people want to know what's going on with the interest rates right now. Let's see. Teralyn, you want to go first? What's going on with the interest rates right now?
They are all over the place. To be quite honest with you, I mean, I check them every few minutes just to move it. They've gone up over the last couple weeks with all this, but we do expect them to go back down. It's just a matter of time.
Okay. All right. Lee, what are you seeing with the interest rates?
Well, what I would say is always interest rate is going to depend on the person and the borrower. But what we would say is even coming out there for a few weeks or a week or so, we were at 5-year lows. Then we were at 8-year lows. Then we were at all-time lows, and everybody was really excited about that. It's kind of bounced back up just a little bit, but it's still, especially after things have settled down a little bit, it's still, really, in a pretty good setup.
Okay. All right. So people should not be afraid to buy houses right now. That's the question I keep getting. Should I buy right now? Should I sell right now? We have discussions as agents. We have our little coffee thing with Keller Williams chat in the morning, and agents said, they have some people who are pulling out, say they're going to wait. Some people are saying, I need to see what's getting ready to happen. I understand if your employment is the issue, then you probably need to wait if you've been furloughed or those type things, But if you're still moving strong, I mean, is it still what makes it a good time to continue to purchase right now? Anybody want to start there?
I don't know about the rates, but from what I'm telling, stability wise, it seems like in our area, people have a good measure of stability with respect to their employment, especially with Robins Air Force Base and the increasing number of personnel that are going to the base. Also, we have the payroll protection program that was passed by the federal government. And as a result of that, employers are able to keep their employees on, irrespective of pressures in the market to need to furlough or give people time off. But and additionally, the Corona First Response Relief Act requires employers to either file unemployment for their employees and or maintain that employment. So from a perspective of stability, I feel like we do have a pretty stable market for the foreseeable future if the coronavirus is a 3 to 4 month remaining quarantine phenomenon.
And so that would give people the security to go ahead and just, to jump out there if they want to, don't hold back at this point because of what's going on.
That's my take on it. And from what I've seen, I know Carolyn and Lee probably have a better perspective of it, but I am just astounded at the interest rates that are coming through. If I'm a buyer, this is the time I'd want to buy just because the rates are so incredibly low.
Okay. Carolyn, you want to jump in on that at all about why people should still want to buy right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's still an investment. It's one of the biggest investments that you'll make in your life. And it helps with building your wealth as far as says. You got to also realize that in the 1980s, the interest rates were in the teens, and we are nowhere near that.
Yeah, I didn't know those times. I never knew those times. All right.
Another good point to bring up with respect to that, Carolyn just kind of reminded me of it, is that, we've been in a seller's market for a while, and Frida, you know that better than I do. And, sellers feel a little bit of this pressure right now too. And we have sellers that need to be moving, that got PCS orders, or that for whatever reason they need to move. They need to get under the mortgage pressure that they're under. And perhaps it's turning more towards the buyers, and it's a better opportunity for buyers because sellers feel the need to give concessions or to go a little lower on price just in order to make sure that they can make their move smoothly.
Yeah, I do see that. It depends on what price range you're in. We're seeing, houses with multiple offers on them, competing offers, just depending on the price range. But I do see that slowing down some now as we've gotten into this climate. And I don't know if that's going to maybe shift to turn into, where it's not so much of a seller's market when we come out of this. But right now, I think between buying and selling, I think you couldn't lose, right now at this point. And still, appraisals seem to be holding up. I've seen that. What about you guys as lenders? Are you seeing that appraisals are still holding value?
Yes. Yeah. I've actually seen some come in over value, which is always nice.
Okay. Lee?
Yeah, we're seeing some good appraisals come in. I mean, there's going to be an outlier here or there. Mm-hmm. The biggest challenge was from the refi crush of last month. The appraisals were taking a while longer just for everybody to squeeze them in. But, we're seeing home values holding steady. I do think, and Frida, I told you this over the phone, a few days ago, one of the things to think about is even if we are heading towards a recession, if we happen to go that route, if you look back at every other recession that we've had in the last 100 years, home values have continued to increase, except for 2008 when the housing bubble burst, and that caused a little bit of a challenge there. So, that home is going to be a great investment, and it could be a great time if it makes sense for you, and if there's some stability in your job for you to jump in and really take advantage of what can be a good time to buy.
Okay, so we talked about interest rates, and we talked about whether it's a good time or not. What has? Oh, we lost Bridget. She'll come back in. What exactly do you see how has the market changed? I mean, what have you seen the change been? What has happened? Anything? There's pretty much. What are some changes that you've seen happen since this started? Can you hear me, Lee? Oh, there she is.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Lee, are you there? I think we lost him too. Carolyn, what have you seen changes that may have started, you've seen in the market since the shift?
I mean, the interest rates have gone up, they've come down, they've gone up, they've come down, they've gone all over the place. But once again, like Lee had mentioned, it depends on the credit score, depends on the loan type, depends on a lot of different things. But I mean, I really think that the interest rates, they are going to come back down when the dust settles even more, but it's still a good time to buy. Okay. I don't think that it should, deter anyone away from purchasing a home.
Okay. Bridget, you have something?
One thing I've noticed, Rita, one thing I've noticed on the pricing, and I don't know if you've noticed it, new time building sessions on on seller credits on closing. So they weren't giving a credit because the market was so good. It was a seller's market. Now, if you're looking at how much you need to bring cash to close, and you get those numbers from Lee or Terry Lynn about how much you need, usually now the builders are, for the new construction at least, are putting in money towards your closing costs, which they weren't in the last 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, a lot of them were not, and so that's always a good thing. Less money you have to bring. But do you guys see anything changing with increasing? One of the questions I have is how have credit score requirements changed, or have they changed? And I know that's different from lender to lender. So, have you guys seen that? That's been one of the things I've heard, that the credit scores have changed, requirements for what they will take as a base credit score.
So we don't have any overlays. VA and FHA haven't come down and said, hey, our minimum credit score has been increased. What's happening is a lot of the banks, aka investors, are the ones who are coming in with some of the overlays. And so unfortunately with those overlays, we've got to follow those. But we as a company do not have any overlays.
Okay, Lee?
Well, I think I dropped there for a second. So
we lost your volume. Can y'all hear him?
Yes.
Yes.
See, for some reason I can't hear him, but keep talking.
Yeah. I think that the question was probably credit score requirements. We can still go down to 620 on government loans. And then we don't have any additional overlays placed on us right now either. You just want to be really careful of that 620 to 640 bucket that we call it, just to make sure that it's going to make sense for you. And you're really going to have to communicate with your realtor to make sure that those seller pay concessions are kind of helping out.
Okay. So for some reason I can't hear Lee. I don't know what's going on. My connection.
So Lee was saying that basically he can still go down to 620 on those federal FHA type programs, but basically it's going to be, like Terry Lynn said, it's going to be investor driven on those credit score overlays that they might require.
Okay. What are some of the differences? Let's talk about this one, because a lot of people are doing this. A lot of people have asked me, and Lee, you and I had a little bit of discussion about this, and so did Terry Lynn this morning with our team. But the difference that a lot of people are saying with these mortgage companies who are saying you can delay your payments or defer your payments, or there's a deferment, they're deferring, they're forbearing, they're doing all these different things, because you go on and they'll say, hey, you need help with payments this month. What do you guys have to say about those plans? And I know every mortgage company is different, but what can you do to help people understand a little bit about what's the difference between a forbearance, a deferment, a modification? What's the difference?
Nothing is free. Remember that. Just remember, nothing is free.
Nothing is free.
I would. That's a good way to put it, Terry Lynn, because people often enter into these and they have no idea what the ramifications of them are. And I would say, read. Read whatever it is they're sending to you, because generally speaking, like you said, you're going to pay for it at some point, and how much are you going to pay for it? You need to know ahead of time.
Yeah, right.
It really needs to be read, but it also needs to be have a conversation, and probably multiple conversations, and then get what you were told on paper as well. But that would all start off with the company that is servicing your loan, to make sure it makes sense for you, because there can be some gotcha moments when it comes to forbearance versus loan modifications, or you think of it as forgiveness, even from the loan modification side. But then when you go to sell that loan or sell that home or refinance, then that principal becomes due. So you just want to make sure that you're informed, make sure that you're having a conversation, and make sure you fully understand what steps are being taken.
Okay, I'm listening to you on this side. And you're a little delayed, but yes. So yeah, we got to know what you're getting into. we definitely got to know that. I think a lot of people just kind of jump in and say, oh, I could just, it's free money, but it's not free money. And I just, we want people to know that when they come out of this on the other side, that things will be okay for them, that they'll be okay. And that they won't put themselves or I don't want to say dig a deeper hole, but put themselves in a place where it's going to hurt them more. And so we've all got to educate ourselves, and any information, that we can give them is always great. Bridget, real quick, tell me how real estate closings changed.
Well, we're actually, it's actually going really well. As you know, Governor Kemp passed the emergency executive orders in conjunction with the Georgia Supreme Court. It's a multifaceted thing in Georgia in order to do remote closings. So we now have the ability to do remote closings should they be necessary. And the way that works is you can use any number of platforms, but we use Zoom Business. And we would overnight you your documents in a FedEx or UPS, and you would sign it on Zoom at the same time as if you were here doing the closing. And then you would overnight the documents back to us. Now, at this point, our office is only doing it in exigent circumstances, and there's many reasons for that. One is that a lot of times there are last minute changes on closing disclosures, and if we're sending it to you a day or two in advance, we can't real time make those changes and get them signed so that you can understand them. Another thing is a lot of times buyers and sellers like to talk to each other, even though they're not near each other. There are things they want to pass along and information that they like to give to each other. So we're able to, at this time, have what I love, actually, new idea. I mean, I think after this coronavirus, every industry is going to be changed, and probably for the
we're
better.
not going back to being the same.
I love these open air closings that we're having outside. It's beautiful weather. Everybody's been quarantined or they're staying at home. So we're actually having ours outside on the front porch closings, we call them. And the buyer and sellers are both able to see each other from a distance. Everybody's protected. They use one pen. They take the pen with them. The tables are Clorox. The papers are sanitized. So it's really actually been a benefit to people as far as we haven't slowed down at all in our ability to provide the same services that we were providing before. So anybody has any trepidation about, hey, the closing process is going to be a lot harder now because of the coronavirus, that's simply not the case. In fact, it's actually more fun.
Do you still limit, like some places limit whether or not the agent can come in with you or not? It's really just the person the signers, that's it.
Right. So what we do is we don't, nobody's coming inside just because of the air requirements and the CDC saying it's best to keep open air. So there's a table outside we have for the sellers and a table about 20 feet away for the buyers. And the agents are able to come if they want to be 10, 6, 8, however many feet away they want to be, they can be. It's just up to the agent and the party themselves what they feel comfortable with. Some agents want to stay in their car and just be moral support via video or telephone. It's just up to the agents. But I think everybody so far has gotten what they wanted. If they wanted to talk to the other party, the buyer or the seller, they've been able to. If they've wanted their agents there, that's also been possible. So it's actually been a very easy process. And then the only reason we would need to use the exigent circumstances were if the person felt like they didn't, because they had been exposed to the coronavirus, or they felt symptoms that they felt like they might have the coronavirus. We're outside of the period. We had an earlier period that if you had traveled outside of the country, we don't really have that so much anymore. But if anybody has those conditions or those circumstances, we're easily able to do those remote closings via Zoom on a case-by-case basis. But it's just easier for everyone if they can come.
Okay, good. So we haven't shifted completely to that, where that's what we're doing is is doing the mail outs and the video closings and things like that. That's good, because a lot of people are like, well, like you said, I want to come and I want to be there. So it's good that you have options. And I think that's just the best thing, is to give options. I think the video thing is going to make it, like you said, when we come out of this, it's going to shift how we do mail outs, and we have sellers that don't live here. They've already gone, and they can't be here, and they need to close, and we got to get, so hopefully with all of that, we'll be able to, it'll integrate and make the industry, stronger, and make it better for people to be able to, make the transaction happen from the lender. What about you guys? Have they created anything more for you guys? I know, Carolyn, you have an app, but have they created anything on the lending side that makes it easier for you to do your transactions, like you were saying, Carolyn, virtually from start to finish? Have your companies or any policies been created in your industry that help the transaction go smoother?
I mean, we're still, we're virtually, everything can be done by, your smartphone, email, how can always, I mean, the appraisals are really the biggest thing, and that's changed to exterior only instead of doing interior and exterior.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things that we had happen, is that, with people not wanting to enter people's homes, or nobody wanting other people to come into their homes, we did see that we ran into a case that they just wanted to do exterior appraisals. How long, I mean, do you think that's just right now because we're at the shelter in place? Or do you think that, people, it's going to take a while for people to get comfortably, well, as you guys said, before we get comfortable with appraisers going in? Because even the appraiser didn't want to go in. Like, it was like, if he didn't have to, so, that's just kind of one of the things that we're thinking. Do you see that coming forth as something that we need to be looking for in the future, Lee? Or you think it's just pretty much just for this right now because we're sheltered in place?
Whatever makes the appraisal easier is what I would hope for. But I do think it will be interesting once we see how long this lasts. People want to get an accurate value of the home. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of swings back the other way, especially on certain transactions. We want to protect the values in the neighborhoods, and we want to make sure that the investors are getting what they, are what they are giving people money for that's actually worth. So it will be interesting to see if that swings back the other way.
Okay. I'm a little delayed, but okay. All right. Well, listen, we only wanted to stay on with you guys about 30 minutes. I don't know that we have any questions or anything. At this point, I know this is just kind of an overview of the market and kind of answered a few questions. We're going to replay it as well for people who weren't able to jump on this time. I don't know if we have any questions out. If we have questions, you guys can type it in real quick. If you have any questions, if you're watching and you have a question for someone on here, you can do that. But we're also going to offer a home buyer seminar that will be on this Thursday night from 6 to 8. So if you're looking to buy a home, we can get a little bit deeper into it, talking to those prospective home buyers on what to do, where to start, because that's always a question I get, where to start and what to do. And, so the home buyer seminar is coming up. They just put a picture of that up there on Thursday. So there's a link. When we finish, we're going to post the link, and you can register via that link. We have limited space, and we're going to do that on Zoom. So it's a little bit closed, and then you can talk back and forth to the people that are, you talk to Lee, you talk to Carolyn, you can talk to Bridget and ask them some questions. But a lot of times I get people say, where do I start? How do I get started? What do I do? And so that's what this is for on Thursday night. And it'll be a little bit more in-depth. They may have some presentations or something that they really want to do, and we will bring them on one at a time to let you kind of really talk with them on Thursday night. So we put that out there, you guys. We could put it. We're gonna post it when we're done. You'll be able to click on the link and register for the home buyer seminar. But the space is limited, so let people know that that's out there. And we want to give you tools, because in this market, we still want you to continue to buy. We still want you to be comfortable. But if you're like me, if you're not comfortable with something, you're not gonna do it. if that's how I am, I'm just not going to do it. If I'm not real comfortable, I don't understand it. I think I just kind of hold off. But we want you to be comfortable, and we want you to continue to buy houses, even in this time, to let you know that it's still a good time to do it. So thank you guys so much for joining me for just 30 minutes. Just wanted to get you on here for like 30 minutes and just discuss a few things. Anybody have anything that they want to say at this point? Talk to us about, give a opportunity to talk about your company real quick before we go to the Zoom on Thursday night, which is closed. I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to say a few things about your company and what you can offer real quick. I'll start up here with Tara Lynn, and then we'll go around.
All right, with Altera Home Loans, even though with all of this going on, we can still close loans in 15 days. Definitely, like I said, I have an app where you can do the application. You could submit all of your income and asset documentation right through the app. It comes directly into my loan system. So super easy, very user friendly. And we still do offer the down payment assistance programs for first time home buyers. There are some programs that you don't have to be a first time home buyer, but it does go up to 100% loan to value.
Okay. Lee?
Well, I would say right now, really and truly, it's important to work with people that you trust, especially at the Mack team. You have a realtor team that you can trust, but even through your lender, your closing attorney, I think the most important thing to look for right now are people who can communicate, and there needs to be open lines of communication from pre-approval to contract to closing. You need to make sure that there is a great line of communication between borrower, between lender, between realtor, because things can change. And there for a while, they were changing every single day. And so we just want to make sure that there's a great line of communication.
Did I lose you? Okay. All right. Bridget.
Well, to piggyback on what Lee said, if you would like the Cooper Law Firm on Facebook, we put posts on there regularly to keep you updated. So that's important, but we have a friendly, expert, knowledgeable staff, and we'll bend over backwards for anyone to get their closing finished and consummated. And so whatever we need to do here at the Cooper Law Firm, we're here for you. We have www.cooperfirm.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram, or just call.
Everybody's dropping.
I don't know who's here.
Depend on Wi-Fi.
There she is.
Yeah, I kicked us out in the middle of talking. I said, you can't depend on Wi-Fi, but I can hear Lee now.
We were telling stories about you, Frida. It was.
I don't know what happened, but thank you guys for joining, and for Bridget. I know you guys. What was her? I can't remember her website, but just look her up, Bridget Cooper.
Cooper Law Firm.
Cooper Law Firm. You can look her up. And thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you. I hope it helps somebody out just a little bit. I'm sure people will watch the replay and be able to pick up a couple things here or there. Did you guys leave your phone numbers or anything like that?
I did not. My cell is area code 678-614-7231.
Okay. And Lee?
And mine is 770-597-2123. I'll go to the Facebook page and post it underneath there as well. I'm sure
post it underneath the post on when we're replay it. Just post it underneath there, just in case people have questions for you directly. But hopefully we'll get some people to sign up for it with us and join us on a Zoom call on Thursday night and be able to really answer those questions and get some people qualified.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing, is to get some people qualified.
Take a step.
It's a big step, isn't it? I know a lot of people get scared and they don't even want to take the step because they're scared of what they're going to find out. But the only way you're going to do it is to find out what's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
and that's what we're here for. So
yeah, to get connected to this, is why I brought you guys on, so they'll understand and see you face to face and see, personalities, and that you guys care about them and what's going on. And don't be afraid of the no right away. It may not happen right now, but it can happen. And the great thing is that both of you can help people get there. And that's
Right.
really what's important, is that you can help them get there. It may not be right at the moment. So we'll talk about that on Thursday night. But y'all have a good evening. Enjoy your the rest of your evening and with your time with your family. Thanks for joining me for just a few minutes. To everybody else from the Mack team, myself and the Mack team, thank y'all so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.